In this video, we're going to work on the ALEKS problem called Understanding Basic Models of Competitive and Non-Competitive Inhibition. There's a couple of different ways that this problem is worded, but no matter what the version of the problem is, they all kind of look the same. It's going to give you a picture of an enzyme that has two sites on it, and you're able to toggle between state 1 and state 2 to get a closer look at each site. So this view is showing us site A. And then if we scroll over to state 2, that gives us a better picture of site B. And it's telling us in this problem that site B is known to be the active site. Now, it's also going to, and that's not going to be present in all ALEKS problems. Sometimes it doesn't provide you with this information. It's going to give you the shapes of 4 molecules. I'm only showing 3 here, but there is a 4th one. It's going to give you the shape of 4 molecules, and it's going to ask you to classify each of these molecules as a substrate, a competitive, or a non-competitive inhibitor, and you can check more than one of these boxes, or you can check none of the boxes at all if they don't apply. So let's define each one of these terms. A substrate is something that binds to the active site, or let's just say that it fits in the active site. That's a better definition. And in this particular problem, we know that site B is the active site, and to see site B open, we need to look at state 2, this showing us this is what site B looks like. Site B has this shape, so the substrate of this enzyme is also going to have that same shape. None of these molecules have that same shape. So none of these molecules are substrates because none of them would fit perfectly into the active site. So we're not going to be able to check that for any of these. A competitive inhibitor is a molecule that also fits in the active site. So it is a molecule that is not the substrate, but it competes with the substrate by binding to the active site. Substrates and competitive inhibitors have the same shape. And unless you are being told exactly what the substrate looks like, which is possible for some of these ALEKS problems, unless you're being told exactly what the substrate looks like, if you think that a molecule might be a substrate, it also might be a competitive inhibitor, and you should check both boxes. So for example, in this problem, if instead of having this molecule, if I had one that was this shape, and I know that that's the shape of my active site, so I know that this would be the shape of a substrate, I wouldn't be able to tell if this particular molecule was a substrate or a competitive inhibitor because they both fit the exact same way. A non-competitive inhibitor is one that fits in the non-active site or the allosteric site. I'm just going to write non-active site because that's consistent with the language in this ALEKS problem. And so for this molecule, the non-active site is this enzyme, the non-active site is site A. Any molecule that fits into site A is going to be a non-competitive inhibitor. So I have one non-competitive inhibitor that fits perfectly in site A. This molecule and this molecule, they are none of the above. I'm not going to check any box for any of them because they do not fit into either site A or site B.